Welcome back. We have a short video this week, as well as the last week, and who knows what will be for next week. We've had some family issues that have needed to be addressed, so I haven't had much time for stitching. Keith hasn't had much time for working on videos, but I did manage to work on getting the applique finished for my last block. This is the Grand Hotel for Mackinac Island that my daughter Melissa drew. All of the blocks that my kids drew, of course, as I had mentioned before, were much more complicated than I had expected and challenging. So it's really nice. They weren't necessarily as fun as I thought they were going to be, but stretching is always good. And it was really fun to be able to see the things that they drew translated to fabric. And it's just going to be wonderful in our quilt to have them not just of memories of our trip, but memories of what our kids have done as well. That will make them extra special. When I get a chance, it's really nice to be able to sit and just applique, just stitch away. Sometimes when things might seem a little overwhelming otherwise, it kind of helps soothe the nerves and calm jitters or calm anxiety, and I just find it very relaxing to do. The funny thing is, I love doing applique, but I don't like hand sewing. Like, I wouldn't sew my pieces together for a pieced quilt by hand. That I would totally do on machine. I don't know why this is different, but it is. Also, the other funny thing is, when I first started quilting, I decided fairly quickly that I absolutely hated applique. Didn't particularly like the way it looked, and I hated trying to do it. And so I was determined I was never going to. I had a challenge by my sister-in-law to do a sunbonnet Sue, which was the one I particularly didn't like, but to make it small. So my first applique that I really did was a 3-inch or so sunbonnet Sue, and I decided I liked her at that size. Over the years, gradually, I've just done a little bit more and a little bit more, and I finally realized one day that I really do enjoy it. I love the portability of it. I've done trips when we were camping in our trailer. I've done trips when we were out in hunting camp. I've done them all over the place, sitting in offices waiting for doctor's appointments. It's very satisfying. Hopefully next week we can get a little bit longer of a video. I don't know if things are going to calm down that quick or not, but we'll sure try. Okay, so I now have the applique blocks finished, except for a little bit of embroidery that needs to be done on a few of them. It's enough now that I can put them on my board, kind of lay out how I think I'm going to want them to be placed in the quilt, sort of in relation to each other. Back up here a little bit more, and hopefully we can get all this at once. And then it's time to get out some, what's it called? Some paper, graph paper, that's what I'm looking for. Get some graph paper out and start drawing out blocks, and then thinking about how big it needs to be and getting the rest of the quilt designed so I can start putting it together. This is gonna be exciting now, because the next part should go a lot faster.